started. So today what we're going to do is, today we're going to talk about the Constitution. This is a hard word to say, just like Declaration of Independence is kind of hard. So can we practice saying Constitution? Let me hear you guys say Constitution. Turn on your mics and say Constitution.
Constitution.
Good job, Adam. Who's next? Lily, that is not a hat. Turn on your mic. Gabe, can you say Constitution?
Say Constitution.
Good job. Constitution. Good job, Gabe. Lily, can you turn on your mic?
Can you
say Constitution?
Constitution? Good job.
Good job. Marzu, can you turn on your mic and say Constitution? Say con. Constitution. Good job, Marzook. All right, guys, we are going to watch a video about the Constitution. There's going to be a lot of information in it, but don't worry. It's just to introduce you to the topic. Hey, Adam, do you have your brace? You should be wearing your brace, okay? You should put your brace on. So we're going to watch the video. It's going to have a lot of information, but that's okay. It's just to kind of get you guys like in the mindset to hear some of these words, and then we're going to read more about it, okay? So let's watch our brain pop about the Constitution.
Mr. Gribbers told me my mother was here with a note. That's not my mother. Dear Tim and Moby, what is the U.S. Constitution? Is it a law? From Jake. A constitution is a basic set of rules for government. It lays out how the government of a particular country works. So the U.S. Constitution does that for the United States. When our nation was founded, most countries were ruled by kings and queens. They had nearly absolute authority to make decisions for everyone and do whatever they wanted. But our founders wanted a system based on the rule of law. Everyone in the country, no matter who they are, has to follow the law. And the U.S. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. That means all other laws have to stay within the limits it sets out. Any law that conflicts with it is illegal and declared unconstitutional. Well, the people who wrote the Constitution, called the Framers, divided it into several sections. First, there's the preamble, or introduction, which sets out the goals of the document. Then come the 7 main sections, called articles. Each article covers one part of government or a key government process, like how a new state can join the country, or the rules for appointing a judge. Finally, we have additions to the original document, called amendments. The framers knew the country would grow and evolve in ways they couldn't predict. So, the Constitution includes rules to amend or change the Constitution itself. But passing an amendment is way more difficult than passing a law. Since the Constitution's creation more than 200 years ago, it's only been amended 27 times. Our Constitution is based on a few core principles. One is self-government, also called popular sovereignty. The preamble starts with the words, "We the people," in huge letters. The idea is that the American people are creating a government through the Constitution. The power to rule belongs to us. But it wouldn't be practical if we had to weigh in on every decision the country needs to make. So we elect leaders to represent us in Washington. They make choices on our behalf by passing laws, appointing judges, running agencies, all that stuff. This kind of government is called a republic. We, the people, lend our power to representatives. If we don't like how they use it, we elect someone else the next time around. If our representatives try to abuse their power, that's against the law. They can only do what the Constitution allows them to. If a power isn't specifically written there, they don't have it. This principle of limited government prevents our leaders from grabbing too much power. It's like the flip side of popular sovereignty. We, the people, start off with all the power, and the government starts off with no power beyond what we give it. State governments are another big limitation. The Constitution strikes a balance between national and state power. This system is called federalism. Delegated powers are those granted to the federal government. Like, it has the power to print money and declare war. While the states get reserved powers, like the power to establish schools and make new marriage laws. Some powers are shared by the nation and the states, like collecting taxes. These are called concurrent powers. Of course, both state and federal governments are limited by the Constitution. Besides having to share power with the states, the federal government itself is divided. The separation of powers splits control of the government into 3 branches. That ensures that no single branch will gain too much power. The legislative branch, which consists of both chambers of Congress, makes the laws. The executive branch, which includes the president, enforces the laws. And the judicial branch, which is the whole federal court system, reviews the laws. This division also creates a system of checks and balances. That means that each branch checks or limits the other branch's power. Like when Congress passes a law, the president can veto or reject it. But with enough votes, Congress can override the veto and pass it anyway. After a law passes, the federal courts can rule that it violates the Constitution. The highest court, called the Supreme Court, makes the final decision about constitutionality. Individual rights are another big check on the government's power. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, lists some of those liberties. They include freedom of speech, the right to a jury trial, freedom of the press, and protection against unfair searches. These amendments were added just after the Constitution itself was approved. Many of the later amendments cover individual rights too. The 13th Amendment outlaws slavery. 14 says that state governments have to respect the same individual rights as the federal government. 15 and 19 gave African Americans and then women the right to vote. Remember how the people have the power in our democracy? Voting is how we exercise that power. It took a while for Americans to realize that we the people includes all of the people. So we updated the Constitution to reflect that. Well, that's the thing about the U.S. Constitution. It isn't perfect, but it gives us everything we need to make it, well, more perfect. That's what it means when people say that it's a living document. As our values change, the Constitution adapts while still holding to its core principles, which I guess is its own kind of perfection. Hey, I really have to get to my next class, Moby. I mean, Mom.
All right, so that talked about the Constitution. And so now we're going to read a little bit about that, okay? So let's read Chapter 3, the U.S. Constitution. So as you see in the picture, we have somebody who looks like George Washington, and we know this guy is Thomas Jefferson from our last chapter. And then we see a picture of the government and the picture of the U.S. Constitution. So let's read. Lily, eyes here. Lily, eyes here. Lily, if you want stickers for your class, you need to pay attention, or you won't get a reward. Pay attention. Todd and Reggie are on a scavenger hunt. They read the next clue. It says the government has branches. It says people have rights. So let's listen to that again. It says the government has branches. The government has branches. Can you say branches?
Branches.
Good job, guys. Branches.
Branches. Yes.
Turn off your mic. Turn off your mic. Thank you. Todd says they are looking for the Constitution. The Constitution helped the new government. Let's say Constitution again. Can you say Constitution?
Constitution.
All right. Leaders of the United States met after the war. They needed to choose a new government. The leaders did not always agree. People talked about their ideas and people listened. So they didn't always agree. They had different ideas for how they wanted the government to be. But they listened to each other and they came up with the Constitution. The leaders listened to ideas. They agreed on a plan for the government. The plan was the Constitution. The Constitution became laws. The Constitution became laws. Can we say laws?
Laws.
Good job, guys. Turn off your mic when you're done saying laws. Gabe and Marzouk, can you guys say laws?
No. Say law. No.
Law. Good job. Marzouk, can you say law? Good job. All right, let's keep reading. The Constitution says the government has branches. There is a Congress, a president, and judges. Those are the 3 branches. Can you say 3 branches or show me 3 fingers?
3 branches.
3 branches.
Good job. 3
I don't
branches.
look at them.
Lily.
Good job, Gabe. Show me 3 fingers. Marzouk, can you
Not funny.
see
I don't
3 fingers?
like them.
Mute your mic.
Marzouk, show me 3 fingers. Good job. They each work with laws in different ways. So the branches work with laws. Now the United States has a government. They can make rules and laws, but not all people had the same rights. Did everybody have the same rights? No. So shake your head, no. Did everyone
No.
have the same rights? No. It wasn't fair, but that's how it was back then, and we're still working on changing those things today. All right, guys, you did a great job listening. Now what we're going to do is we're going to